In this video, we're going to find out why I chose the Tiptronic gearbox over the manual. Hi and welcome back to Joe Talks Cars and welcome to another video. Now this video is going to be all about the Tiptronic gearbox. It's probably the most controversial thing that I've got in my Cayman, and it's the thing that people comment on more than anything. Why did you not buy the manual? And in this video we're going to find out why I chose the Tiptronic gearbox over the manual. We're going to take it for a drive, set up the camera angles and show you what it's like to drive a Tiptronic. I'm going to take it on some B roads, I'm going to use the manual gearbox, but also going to take it into town and show you how the car responds to day-to-day driving, because you might be surprised how good this gearbox is. So as you can see, accelerating full power in auto, straight up to 7,000 revs. The car is keen to rev, and the best thing is it learns your driving style fairly quickly. Like if you do one harsh acceleration for an extended period of time, the car essentially enables a sport mode. What that does is it hangs on to the revs for a long time, and it'll really rev out the car in every single gear. But the minute you calm it down and say hit a town, the car responds totally different to that. It will keep the appropriate gear for the speed, and yeah, it's a little bit jerky at times, but as you can see, you know, it's just like driving a regular automatic. We've got a little bit of a village to go through now, and it's fairly slow speeds. There's a little roundabout, and then we'll head on outside the other side of the village, which has got some really nice sweeping bends. I will put the car in full manual and show you how it goes through the gears. But yeah, I mean, I love the Tiptronic gearbox. It's by no means a PDK, and I've driven cars fitted with PDKs and also the DSG box you get in VWs, and it's a different ball game altogether. So don't watch this video and think this guy's mental, he's comparing it to the PDK. PDK is a far better gearbox, and if you can get that, do it. But if you do want an automatic Cayman or an automatic 911 or whatever it is, and you're looking at the older cars, the only option will be the Tiptronic, unless you're prepared to go for the newer models. So the car will start off in second gear. It doesn't use first unless you launch it. It doesn't have launch control, but what it does do is you floor the throttle from a standstill and it kicks it down into first, and you set off in first. There's no hesitation whatsoever. That's really nice. But general driving, yeah, second gear starts, quickly moves up to third, and we're doing about 25 miles an hour now, and the car is going along quite happily in fourth gear. There is only 5 gears in this Tiptronic gearbox, which, although people may see that as a bad thing, it probably does affect fuel economy. It's probably not ideal, but what it does mean is the gears are very long. It changes gear very few times because there isn't many to cycle through, so essentially it feels like it does stupid miles an hour in each gear, and I quite like that. But that was a little bit of town driving, nothing too dramatic. We didn't actually stop, but it gives you an idea of how easy this thing really is to drive. And round town, and when you're stuck in traffic, automatic cars just make so much sense. And I just think to discredit the Tiptronic based on what everyone's told you isn't right. What I'll do actually when we get to the national speed limit is I will floor it, and you can watch what the car does. The car is quite happy pootling about in town. The car is now in, it's probably the most docile mode. The gearbox is hanging on to the gears for a very short amount of time, and it's actually racing through them. We're in fourth gear at 30 miles an hour, that type of thing. When you floor it, it does take a few seconds for it to actually think, do you know what, this guy, he wants to go quick now, so look, 20 miles an hour, we floor it. It kicks straight down into second gear. And now it's hanging on to the gears, as you can hear. So yeah, tell me that's slow in the comment below, because it isn't. That's fact, that is not slow. So what we'll do next is kick the car over into manual. We're going to take some of the winding bends once I get these cars out of the way and show you how well it responds. See, already the car has now calmed right down. because it realised that was just a short burst of acceleration and we're back to normal kind of driving. So the car responded pretty much immediately. We accelerated really hard, it raced through every gear, revved them out, and now it's just gone, yeah, we're back to sort of more sedate driving, and it's just calmed right down. We're back in 5th gear, 40 mile an hour, in a 60 as well, so this is why, another reason why it's more or less pointless to have a car this fast in the UK, because everyone drives at 20. Right, so now I'm going to put the car into full manual mode and show you what it's like when you want to hold onto the gears for the right amount of time for what the road wants you to. You know, on some really twisty roads, I do like to keep it in manual, because it's oftentimes where you don't want it to change up into 3rd, because you know immediately after there's going to be a hairpin. So you simply push the gear stick over, that now locks the car into manual. You can now control the car with the buttons on here, or it'll just hold onto the gear that you're in. We're in 3rd gear now, harsh acceleration. I can change gear at any moment. And if you notice the sound of it, you can tell when it's actually changed, so you can see how quickly it responds. So we'll go down a gear, and then we'll go up. Yeah, it's not lightning quick, it's not a PDK, but it's not bad. It's really not bad. What you can do in manual is, of course, put it into 1st gear. So we will do a 1st gear acceleration. So you can totally see why it sets off in 2nd, because that 1st gear, it races through it so quickly, it's borderline pointless. You're sort of in and out of the gear. So you can see why the car chooses to set off in 2nd, but yeah, I mean, if you want to just change down, it responds really well. The buttons are the only thing that are maybe something that you'd get used to eventually. Most cars have paddles behind the gear, behind the steering wheel. These have buttons. I don't mind them. There's up and down. Both sides do exactly the same thing. And they are quite intuitive, and yeah, after a while you do get used to them. So the next thing to do is to go into a proper town. We're going to drive back through the town where I live. We're going to put the car into manual, into automatic again. And what that'll do is just act like every other automatic you've ever driven. And yeah, it'll just show you what it's like in slow moving traffic and maybe stop-start conditions, things like that. And you'll be able to hopefully hear the car and see that it's not frustrating, it's not jerky, it's just like an ordinary automatic. So round and roundabout, it's dropping into 3rd. See, it does tend to hang on to the higher gears a lot more. Obviously the car now knows we're not in sort of yob mode, we're not thrashing it, we're just driving it very normally. And it's just changing gear at the appropriate moment. If you ever want to do like a swift overtake and you want it to go straight back into its sort of normal mode, if you like, you just dab the accelerator twice and that'll kick it down into the lowest gear it will put it in, which generally will be 2nd. You'll be able to zoom past whatever, and then quickly it'll rise up through the gears and you'll be back to normal sort of driving. If I ever want to do a quick overtake and I am even too lazy to double tap the accelerator, I will just use the buttons on the steering wheel, just knock it down a couple. The car will be held into manual for a while, which is good, because sometimes when you're about to eye up an overtake, you can't quite decide when the opportunity is going to arise. So you just want to pop it into like maybe a gear down, or even 2, just so the car is revving at the right point. So when you do go for the overtake, it's bam, it'll happen. That's not to say that the Tiptronic doesn't respond well enough, because back there you'll have seen it automatically, it just kicked down and we were off. But sometimes in an overtake, you do want to make sure that you're not even going to wait a second, you're just going to be off. So I will knock it down a gear or 2, and that will ensure that I can get past the car with ease. But realistically, I keep this car in D all the time. It's how I drive it. I daily drive this car, as mad as that may sound. I drive this thing to work, through traffic, and yeah, it's situations like this where a manual is annoying, because you're having to dip the clutch, change gear, set off. We're going to be stopping again for the roundabout. Like, that would have been 2 clutch, at least. I would have had to press the clutch at least twice, maybe 3 times in that situation. And I've not had to do it. So although the gearbox may be not as fun or anything like that, what it does offer is just pure ease of use. And Porsches are all about ease of use. Porsches are a daily driving car. They're not a garage queen, and this one certainly isn't. You're meant to use them every single day. So why would you not want one that you can use and have an auto? Just makes so much more sense to me. Well, anyway, I hope this video was helpful and it showed you what it's like to use and drive a Tiptronic Cayman. Hopefully it's put some people at ease that were thinking of buying one that thought maybe they're not that good because you've listened to everyone on the internet. The best advice I could give to anyone thinking about getting an automatic Porsche be just try it yourself. This gearbox is not going to be for everyone, but it could be just what you're looking for. So don't rule it out because of someone on the internet telling you not to. Go drive one, make that decision for yourself. This isn't to say this video is saying that the manual is no good and the automatic is better. That's not the case. The manual is always going to give you more fun. Our manual Golf GTI is a riot to drive. And I do feel that if you had a manual Cayman, you would have more fun. But for everyday use and for what I need this car for, it's why I picked the automatic. And I think if you're like me and you daily drive it, get stuck in traffic, but do occasionally take it out onto nice roads, the Tiptronic could just be the gearbox that you were looking for. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for plenty more videos on my Porsche Cayman to come. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.